Hey everybody, welcome to our weekend check-in video for Psych 45 Research Methods in Psychology for Saturday, November 5th. And as I always do, just going to go over a few items, reminders, clarifications, anything I think will help you stay on top of things and do better in our course. So let's get started. First up, our most recent discussion there on Chapter 11 on factorial designs. Most of you did a very nice job with that, so congratulations there. It was nice to see that, but a few of you had some problems there, so do take a look at the feedback I gave you so you can remedy that before you take your exam on that content. Next up here is at your next chapter 12 on correlations, the correlational research strategy. So it's back to a strategy chapter this time. That discussion and quiz will be due next Friday on November 11th. So 11/11 there, easy to remember. And don't forget that time differential there. The discussions are due at 9 p.m. The quizzes are due at 11:59 p.m. And I think you'll find a lot of the material in chapter 12 there on correlations we've already covered there back in chapter 3 and back in chapter 6. So it'll be mostly reviewed, but some new things we're going to throw in there too. Next up here, the big item is that your final APA style literature review paper, component 3 of that writing assignment is due on Wednesday, November 16th. So not this coming Wednesday, but the following Wednesday there. Remember, you'll find complete instructions there in the dedicated APA literature review module, which is underneath Unit 5 of our course materials. So scroll down past Unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Under 5, you'll find the APA module. At the very top, there's a little short how-to video that I put together where I have screenshots and narrations to show and tell you what you need to do on your paper. So please do watch that. It's not very long and it will really make your life easier. Trust me. Underneath that video, you'll see an embedded file there that has instructions and a very important checklist. So in the instructions there, when you scroll through them carefully and thoroughly, you will find there are embedded links, there are hyperlinks to completed samples of the various parts of the APA style paper. So there's a sample title page, abstract page, a completed entire sample literature review paper. That's from the online writing lab, the OWL or the OWL. And so do take a look at that there. And also on that checklist there, make sure that you examine it. The checklist is best thought of as a list of do's and don'ts, things you do want to have in your paper and things you don't want to have in your paper. So it's sort of like a FAQ section, a frequently asked question that will answer many of your questions. So please do examine it. I've developed it over the years and just kept adding to it there, and it seems to help students really do a much better job on their papers. So again, it's there for you. It'll really save you some headaches, so please do check it, before you start writing your papers so you don't have to clean up as much there. Next up here, don't forget that there is a completed sample literature review paper in your Pocket Guide to APA Style. Remember, the Pocket Guide, you access it from the MindTap platform. So when you go on MindTap, look underneath Chapter 15, and there you'll see the links to the Pocket Guide to APA Style. You'll want to take a look at Chapter 9, the first paper in Chapter 9 on birth order. That is a completed sample literature review paper. So again, use that as a model for your own paper submission. Let's see here, what else? And when you read the instructions there in that instruction file, and when you read the broader instructions that are there within the APA Literature Review module on Canvas, you'll see you need to have a minimum of 8 pages of actual literature review content. So not 7 1/4 and not 7 1/2, but 8 full pages minimum of literature review content. That is information that comes from your list of 10 references that speaks to your thesis and your topic there. So make sure that you have at least 8 pages there, and make sure that you cite each one of your 10 references at least one time, and be careful that you don't cite sources that you don't have in your list of references. And by the way, you are not married to your original list of 10 references. If you want to change things as you're writing, you may find a reference doesn't work as well as you thought, so to switch it out with another one. So if you delete a reference, make sure you replace it with the same type of research article there. And you can certainly have more than 10 too, but 10 minimum there, so make sure you keep that in mind. But in addition to those 8 pages of minimum literature review content, you need to have 3 additional pages, a title page, an abstract page, and a page of references. So it's going to be 11 pages altogether, but 8 are, again, kind of the meat and potatoes of the paper. So keep that in mind there. And make sure that you actually do review the literature. That is the information you found in your reference list there. This is not an autobiographical paper. It is not a paper about your lived experiences and what those have to do with the topic and your thesis statement there. It's just not anecdotal that way. It's really about the literature. Sort of think of this as like a little mini chapter or a little mini section in a chapter dedicated to your topic and thesis statement. That's the approach you should write. You've all read textbooks and you kind of know the academic tone they have. Try to keep that kind of tone in mind. So don't be informal, don't be conversational. That is, don't write like you talk. I mean, that's not academic language, so try to keep the tone serious if you can there. Also, don't forget to incorporate any feedback you got from either the first part and or the second part, the outline there more recently for your writing assignment here. That outline is designed to help you remedy issues so when you get to this final part of the paper that you don't have those same problems. So do incorporate that feedback, because I give you enough detail in the feedback to make your life easy to fix all that stuff. So please do keep that in mind, and do be careful when you provide your citations that those are in APA format. There's plenty of examples of that in that Pocket Guide to APA Style. Also in that online writing lab, there's a whole section there in the OWL. You'll see to the left-hand side there, I believe, all kinds of things about citations and APA style, so do check that out there. And do be careful if you're quoting that you put that material within quotation marks, and if there is a page number available from the source reference, you need to include that page number there too. Kind of a common thing there. Also, don't forget to take a look at that rubric file, which you'll find near the bottom of the instructions in the APA module there. It's an embedded file. The rubric just basically shows you some things that you are going to earn points on across the various aspects of the paper. It's kind of the parameters of what I'm going to grade you on: grammar, content, APA style and formatting, your title page, etc. there. So make sure that you take a look at that. Also there you'll find in the instructions that I am going to submit your papers to that Turnitin platform. Turnitin, in case you don't know about it, is a plagiarism detection tool. So it will analyze your document to see if what's in there matches anything in an existing other written source. Like a research article, so don't just copy and paste information from a research article, because Turnitin will detect that. Keep that in mind. So that would be plagiarism. So, and of course I have to check for plagiarism, including that you're writing using somebody else's paper that they already wrote before. It will detect all those things, so do keep that in mind. There is a really great sample of what plagiarism looks like there near the bottom of the instructions in the APA module. It's a table that I just took from chapter 4 in our textbook there when it addressed plagiarism near the end of chapter 4. And what it does is pretty nifty. It shows you the original source statement. It's just one sentence. And then it shows you, I think, 3 examples of plagiarization of that source statement that is not proper paraphrasing. And then the last example they give you is proper paraphrasing of that original source. So do take a look at that, because sometimes students think, oh, if I just change a few words, or if I just put a citation, that is, put the author's name that wrote the source, I'm off the hook as far as plagiarization. And that's not really the case. You also have to change the words too and write them in your own words. That is proper paraphrasing. Else it's still plagiarization if you just don't change anything and just put the author's name. So make sure you understand that. Don't forget, there is the Writing and Reading Center available over there in the library on the first floor, I believe they're still, and they can help you out with this as well. And otherwise, that's everything I wanted to say for this weekend there. Do work ahead on your assignments there. You can knock out all your quizzes and discussions and mind taps for chapters 12 and 13 and 11 too, for that matter, if you haven't already done the mind tap there. So do that. Do work ahead. And that's, again, all I wanted to say for right now. If you have any questions in the meantime, reach out via email on Canvas, and I'll be glad to get back to you. Otherwise, I hope you're having a good weekend, and I will see you in those lecture videos and maybe in our live session this coming Monday at 11 o'clock. So take care until then. All right, bye-bye.